Finally, let's take you back now to the capital, where we'll speak to a member of the party that was in power in Greece at the time of the Euro crisis. Our meeting place, the National Gardens of Greece in Athens.
My name is Eva Kaili. I'm a member of the European Parliament from the Socialists and Democrats, and my party in Greece is PASOK. We are at the opposition. We were really scared. We were under constant, trying to deal constantly with uncertainties because nobody knew how long it would last. And our economy had not recovered from a 10-year austerity package that we had to suffer. So I would say Greeks showed huge resilience, and hopefully this is the end of it, or close to the end of it.
Now, the EU's recovery money is on its way to Greece. The Prime Minister Mitsotakis says that this isn't just going to fix COVID-related problems, it's going to change Greece's economy for good. Do you welcome the government's plans?
Well, I saw the plan. It's ambitious, and I think that we have an opportunity. It seems like a Marshall Plan for the whole Europe to do reforms and to become resilient under the green and digital prism. So we have this opportunity. But we have until 2026 to manage to do all this transition, and we have the tools to do that, and I hope we will be successful, but remains to be seen.
Looking back to everything that led up to the pandemic, that decade of very difficult times in Greece that started with the debt crisis, the Euro crisis, your PASOK party was in power at the time when those punishing bailout and austerity conditions were agreed to. Do you believe now that perhaps your party agreed to too harsh conditions?
It was actually a very tough period. I realized that I was under constant blackmail to vote new austerity measures all the time without feeling that there was a recipe that could actually work in the end. And so at that point, we felt we were cornered. And the difference I feel with this crisis is that we realized we're all in this together. And this realization changed also the way we reacted. And that's why I think now we are more mature as Europe to face any challenge ahead. So I'm so sorry we had to go through these times. The Greeks had a rapid change of their quality of life. And in the end, we were the ones to blame, of course, because we had to deal with it.
A decade ago, there were so many protests, there were riots, people died in some of them. Is Greece still divided today?
I think we overcame these 10 years, huge austerity measures, and we realized that there were no easy solutions. So this anti-systemic wave has gone, and now people just want to recover. The Greeks are now more resilient and strong, and I think this is one reason that we managed to succeed better in this pandemic.
Well, we'll move on to another massive topic for Greece, something we've already spoken about in the programme, the irregular migration. Greece, of course, has a frontline role within the European Union on this issue, and we want to zone in on one particular part. There have been a lot of allegations that Greek and other EU states' border officials have been involved in so-called illegal pushbacks. Celine Schmidt from our team has been investigating.
Greece doesn't participate in the so-called pushbacks.
An unequivocal denial from Greece's Minister for Migration and Asylum. But what are these pushbacks? For the European Centre for Constitutional Rights, they're state measures by which refugees and migrants are forced back over a border without any possibility to apply for asylum. On land and at sea, the practice of pushbacks are increasingly receiving media coverage, in part because they can be so violent. In October 2020, German media Spiegel documented 6 incidents of pushbacks off the Turkish coast. It says Greek Coast Guard's pushback boats loaded with refugees en route to the Greek islands in the Aegean. The journalists say Frontex, the EU's border and coast guard agency, were on the scene and did nothing to intervene, a version of events corroborated by the German military deployed in the region in August. Since then, multiple media reports and NGO investigations have looked at similar incidents. The most recent, the Border Violence Monitoring Network's Black Book, 1,500 pages of which 140 are dedicated to Greece. Witness statements, photos, video analysis, geo-localized data, a host of evidence that they say prove the Greek authorities are guilty of practicing pushbacks with the complicity of Frontex. The Greek authorities have rejected out of hand the accusations of maritime pushbacks, and they blame Turkey, which they say is encouraging migrants to attempt to reach Europe illegally, such as in March 2020, when Ankara unilaterally opened its border to Greece for migrants.
In theory, in principle, we are all against pushbacks, but if it is something organized or something within a strategy of destabilization, then maybe you have to do something about it.
Back in 2016, the EU signed its migration pact with Ankara, recognizing Turkey as a safe country. It handed responsibility to deal with illegal immigration to Turkey and keep potential migrants on its territory. That means there are almost no legal routes to reach Europe, and for its critics, the pact is a threat to the right of asylum. It also puts the migrants in the middle of rocky relations between Greece and Turkey. The EU has commissioned 2 separate internal investigations of Frontex. The conclusions found no evidence of direct or indirect participation by the agency. For Left MEP Malin Bjork, that's not enough.
If there was a political willingness, we could put in place an independent investigation immediately, and we could have, actually a very quick verdict on what is actually happening, so that we can, and which is the aim, so that we can stop this. So we can stop the impunity. We are letting Frontex do illegal stuff, we're letting member states do illegal stuff, and we close our eyes.
Currently, no serious independent investigation is planned by Greece. The European Parliament is working on its own report into the claims. Its conclusions are due for the summer.
Well, we're going to stick with that issue of pushbacks. Eva Kaili, we've asked the head of Frontex at France24 about this issue. He said that there will be more monitoring officers. In terms of the Greek government, they say that Greece respects rule of law. Do you believe there should be investigations?
I think what we can do is have better monitoring, and I think we should call Turkey to accept to have Frontex on their land and sea, because this would help us feel and trust that the procedures that are taking place are quite legal.
With the involvement of Turkey, though, is the EU ultimately trying to export responsibility for the migrants?
So I think this new package and the decision to have a European strategy on migration, we try to have also our responsibilities, so faster procedures, more transparent, to have more solidarity, faster procedures to relocate and return. And also we expand our agreements and partnerships with more countries. And we're using new tools like the visa, for example, facilitation, in order to have the illegal ones to be able to return back safely and to be open and be able to protect people that come from war zones, the refugees mainly.